the name of the game.
Yeah, there you go.
We need a cuddle, we need a Nix.
So
That's EMP.
I mean, it definitely looks like Cloud9 decided, all right, we're going to take this risk. We're going to try this out this time just to stop LGD from getting the 2-0.
Yeah, they're like, we can only get 1 point anyway.
Yeah, so why not?
Maybe.
I mean, at worst, like, other people expect... It's not something too shocking if you give the Lesh. Obviously, you want to have some counter picks ready, so other teams aren't going to be too surprised by what Cloud9's doing. I want to bring up a point, though, as we go forward. Undying, I mean... Ever since yesterday, too, you guys keep mentioning, is it really that much of a priority? Because most teams are now used to it.
For some teams.
I think it depends on who you are actually planning to ban it against. I think especially against the Chinese team, some of the teams might feel that because it's something that they are very used to playing, 5-man, and they're very comfortable, it's not worth giving away the Undying to them. Unless you're extremely confident, like your secret, you're like, we'll just get Keeper of the Light, we illuminate, we charge the creep wave away, and we just push everywhere, and Undying's useless. You know?
All right. Okay, so Cloud9.
Yeah, I think the Chinese teams are a little bit weaker in their laning phase and more rely on their mid and late game decision making. And like Undying just covers most of their weaknesses. They're a very early game team fight as well as their laning phase. So.
This is pretty interesting because most of the time Leshrac is played as a mid lane core, and they're grabbing Shadow Fiend. So this makes me think that, you know, what's interesting is if you open with a Leshrac pick and the enemy team's like, we have to counter pick Lesh, just put him on support.
Yeah.
And your two cores are suddenly not countered by Pugna and Anti-Mage at all. And then you farm a Shadow Fiend who has a great matchup against both of these. He has pretty low mana cost, so doesn't care too much about the Nether Ward. Against Anti-Mage, he comes online very early, hits very hard with physical damage, which Anti-Mage doesn't like. And I actually think just from this pick alone that LGD are not playing a core Lash.
Yeah, I think it might actually happen. And you know what? Shadow Demon is good versus Anti-Mage. So they have Shadow Demon Lasher. So it could be something that LGD is looking. And it's one of their favorite, like it's a Chinese type of roamings support. Shadow Demon plus Lasher.
Yeah, so
man, they are counterpicking with Lesh so hard.
I mean, but at that point, right, like, what do you think? I mean, Cloud9, they kind of already showed that they wanted to counterpick it anyway with the Pugna and the Anti-Mage. Do you think it's just fair for them to just go with it? And say, all right, even if we see the Shadow Fiend, we're just going to go with it.
I mean, they first picked Pugna before without a Leshrac.
Yes, they have.
So
but it's a while ago.
It is a while ago.
Pugna, right?
Yeah, but it's again, the Pugna doesn't have to be a core role either. They can just swap it up. And Anti-Mage is a good carry versus
in general
a wide array of lineups. Yeah, it's not like only good versus Leshrac. So I mean, yes, it is targeted against the Leshrac, but I still think that both teams can make it work.
Wow. Well,
how can we kill Lesh with our entire?
Well, Clock's also good versus Shaker.
Yeah. Yes, right. So, it's a good pick.
Yeah. So it looks like both teams kind of leaving their options open, right? I mean, LGD, sure, okay, we don't have to put Lesh as a core. At the same time, Cloud9's like, all right, if you don't want to, sure, we're like super hard countering it, but we can play the game out in different ways.
I'm more surprised at the DK ban.
Okay, what's going on?
Support Lesh.
This is Lesh is.
I mean, yeah. So now it's pretty clear, right?
Support Lesh, and then they're picking an offlane last. I think this is the right.
Earthshaker might be the offlane if they want to go for Shadow Demon. I mean, because Shadow Demon plus Leshrac.
Does Yao ever play that though?
Yeah, he does.
Offshaker. Okay,
he does.
So they could do.
And you were bringing up the DK ban. I mean, kind of what stands behind that for Cloud9.
I was
you were
why the DK ban, because they could have put Shadow Fiend mid to Leshrac mid. Shadow Fiend in the side lane is not terribly strong, and you want to be able to have strong lanes so you can limit Anti-Mage's farm. I think what's even more surprising is that Quap has been completely ignored, and Cloud9 has stolen Lina from LGD.
Yeah,
so like a lot of priorities have just completely changed.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a big swap here. I mean, mainly, of course, we're seeing it due to the Lesh.
Xiao 8 is really good on Lina, though. I think it's actually really smart to pick that over the Queen of Pain in this particular game, because fitting in Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend and Leshrac is not going to be terribly easy.
Seems like Cloud9 thinks that the Lash is still a core. They're taking out the IO.
Or they're expecting it to be a core shaker. And then they want to remove Wisp Gyro.
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
So Cloud9 still technically needs, if you consider Pugna as support and Lina as a core, so they still need another support.
Right. It could also be support Pugna Lina, and then they can still get the Quap Ben was talking about. I actually think that would be a pretty nice choice here. Because they need... The clock is going to force the fight to start with Hookshot, and then they can plant down the Nether Ward. And then if Quap can take all the enemy heroes down to, say, half or a third health, maybe,
and the mana void,
the Nether Ward can actually put so much pressure on them.
And mana void will kill stuff as well. So
yeah.
Okay.
It will make Cloud9's draft pretty one-dimensional.
Right. I was just about to mention that. Like, doesn't that kind of lock them into just hoping for that to happen?
Yeah.
Like, that's what their one dream.
But I'm still slightly worried that almost no matter what they pick right now, they kind of have to play, Anti-Mage gets space, and then the other 4 heroes need to be able... you're looking at LGD's lineup and you're imagining what 4 heroes can actually fight those 4 heroes right now from Cloud9's side.
I still think they have really strong lanes. I definitely don't think it's one-dimensional. Like, Anti-Mage is a pretty good matchup versus Shaker. Lina has a good matchup versus almost everyone in mid. Clockwork's really strong at...
Oh, yeah, for the lanes themselves, sure.
Yeah.
But if you look at the overall game plan, it's the options this lineup of Cloud9
I mean, LGD
has.
also doesn't have really good catch. They can just, apply pressure on multiple points on the map with Pugna and Anti-Mage with a threat of Clockwork always hook-shotting
Well,
in.
so Winter, what do you
possible.
think? Do you think then that's something LGD should consider? In
I
terms
think-
of rounding that out?
You mean
So Ben was just mentioning, well, LGD doesn't have that much catch. That's what's
Okay.
making Cloud9 also more versatile.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel if you are going to run Lash as a support, it's very important to have a right partner to it, like something that can allow you to gank. If you're going for Shadow Demon, obviously you still don't have that good of a catch, but you need to somehow compensate it with another hero. Like maybe someone gets a Hex, or maybe like Earthshaker gets an early Blink. So that's going to be your catch if you're going to go
Right.
along that route. So I mean, you have to balance things out between the other heroes.
I mean,
with items.
I think it's so risky relying on Earthshaker alone versus a Clock.
Yeah, I mean it's their lineup though. If you are running a support Lash, you're not going to be expecting a Hex from him.
I like the Shadow Demon a lot, though.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's good.
All right. Well, Rubik was the selection for Cloud9.
There's a couple of good spell steals. Fissure is obviously great. Lishrak is a really good hero to pick Rubik against. If you get either...
Requiem of Souls as well.
Requiem is great, and it's very easy to steal too. Split Earth and Lightning Storm are both incredible on Rubik. Having a 0 cast point Split Earth is absolutely gone.
I mean, not only that, his Nullfield is really, really good for Sir Lineup.
Nullfield is great too, but most of the time when we see Rubik's support played, he either goes 4-4-0 or you get at least 2 points in telekinesis. So the time you get Nullfield up to level 4, you're generally like 25 minutes into the game. And then
Think of all the magic resist that Anti-Mage will have, though.
oh, that's the
Just
plan.
think about it.
And then you get a
Cryptify
glimmer,
him.
and then you get a glimmer kit.
And a pipe on him.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely horrible.
I like how he builds everything up.
Yeah.
I think so. LGD will okay.
Okay,
All right,
Bane.
that was not what I was thinking.
But that's still a good partner with
Yeah.
the Lash, and it's very important where you have someone to set up so you can gank with Lash early on. So there might be a lot of smoke gangs.
I mean, it's difficult to play against Bane and Clock, or Rubik and Clockwork, though. Like, it's... I think it's a very risky pick.
Yeah,
For the Bane.
but
For
I
the
still think it's important for them to get someone to set up for the split off, and Bane in team fights is good against mobile carry like Anti-Mage. So
True.
I mean, it's hard to execute, but it's something they need against Anti-Mage.
Okay, so I mean, at that point, it's just what you needed. It's not
Yeah.
about the matchup anymore. This is something we've always come back to, right? It's like, all right, at that point, you focus on what your team needs. Try to play it out. LGD, they did take the first game, so at worst, they tie 1-1. It's not like they're going to get 0 points. They're getting something out of their very first game. Cloud9 now fighting to tie this up, make sure they can secure 1 point before they go on to their second match. Obviously, you want to open up TI5 with 1 point on the scoreboard. It feels nice. LGD going for the 3-0. If so, I mean, people putting LGD in the top 3 doesn't look too bad. So let's jump into game 2. Find out if Cloud9 can fight back.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Wait, what? What, really? Yes! Windwalker.
All right, then.
All right, let's get ourselves into the game. And so, second game of the series, pushing for the 3 points LGD. Cloud9 try and draw it back and keep them at 1 apiece. It will be LGD versus Cloud9 here for the International 5 group stages, day 1.
Yeah. Day 1 is starting, and we see LGD running down as 5 into C9's jungle here. C9 just trying to go out and see if there's any warding going on.
They see them all.
Just trying not to go too far in. Fissure, very dangerous.
Nice observed ward from Notel, leaving it behind.
Defensive ward. Yeah.
Just checking out. Is that close? That's not close enough to block the camp, is it? I think it's fine.
No. It's good.
The dire observer one will, however.
So they pretty much saw where they dropped that ward because of that. They actually still had vision of them running in there and placing it. So now they can make a little bit easier D-ward. They should be able to find that. But they're actually switching lanes already. They are moving their anti-mage to top, it seems. Oh, they're changing their mind again. Bone 7 going back to top. And Teller and Envy going back to bottom.
Well, now they get the vision of what's happening in the middle lane. So they see Sala, maybe MMY and Zhao. Wait, it's literally an LGD
They're
train.
giving up both the bounty runes.
They are. So the first one's going to go to Yao. He's really defensive. He doesn't really want to go for this. Misery, okay, yeah. He's thinking maybe he can find a telekinesis
Bottom is denied.
Okay, yeah. Notel will take care of that one.
Yeah, I was really scared. He was like, I don't want to go for that rune. And then
it's dangerous.
Notel was on the high ground like, well, we can't take it, so just kill it.
You walk close enough that you could get telekinesis grabbed. Because Yao took so long, he doesn't get the fissure block on the first wave.
Yeah. He also had to use one fissure there because he was so scared to check it. So, in the end, it's still fine. I mean, no bounty rune the way of C9, so LGD is still going to be happy. And he does have a dual lane here with Xiao 8. So his lane is pretty strong. Xiao 8 will harass against the Pugna.
And how's this top lane then meant to work? So you've got MMY. Do you just like Nightmare into a Rocket Barrage? You even get aggressive like that, knowing the Opponent 7's... Well, you don't know he's only got cogs. But he's only got cogs.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that top lane. I'm just looking at bottom and thinking this lane is gonna crumble. There's one tango on No Tails Pugna, and there's 4 tangos on Anti-Mage. That's it. That's all your regen. And you don't have any items on Pugna. I don't think you can...
Just believe in the RNG of...
I mean, you're
one, the Lightning not hitting Eternal Envy, and 2, the PMS.
You're going up against 2 Salves, Clarities, and 7 Tangles.
They're getting aggressive. There's already your first stun out in Envy and Notel. Yep, they go for the second with a Split Earth.
I dodged it, at least, very nicely there. And meanwhile, on top lane, yeah, just looking at it, it's just... Seems like they can't really stop the Gyrocopter from farming either. So the 2 lanes working out really beautifully on LGD, so that puts a lot of pressure over on Fada. He has to do well on the mid lane.
It's very difficult, though, because he hasn't stopped the SF from getting early CS. Like, it's 5-0. The SF's already managed to pick up a bottle. 2-minute rune controls can be really important for him, but at the same time, look where Misery's moving. Yeah. He's coming in to try and find the gank from up the Dire Jungle. In fact, the Courier snipe, he's in the perfect position for it. With Bruce first, the Courier down, run you, Catty Cat, into the trees and away to safety.
He juked it, and he finds the S4 rune. Beautiful. Very nice rune there for Shadow Fiend. Well, this is actually making the laning phase extremely hard